People say, I can't play bridge because he has no card sense. Less than 1% of all bridge players on this earth have that wonderful magical component called card sense. It's a learned thing. You can learn it by rote. You can learn, the bidding has to be learned by rote.
You have 50 years of playing bridge.
I've taught bridge in many countries.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a math or science person to be good at bridge. If you're good at languages, bidding is a language that we all share.
My husband and I have traveled to 173 countries because of teaching on cruise ships.
So does he help you teach?
Oh, he does. He's a great teacher and a much better bridge player than I will ever be.
I am videoing everyone's bridge story because I'm interested in the human aspect of the game, the social aspect of the game, and trying to show it from top to bottom.
That's really good. So when you're playing in a bridge tournament, you shouldn't think I'm not ready to go, because you go to a bridge tournament and they have events, rooms, especially only for novice and intermediate players, so that you are protected and in a comfortable environment. But you should always, before you go out to play bridge, you go to the dollar store and you buy a lot of thick skin, and then you just put it on liberally and you leave your ego at the door.
Yeah.
And in you go, so that if somebody looks at you sideways, you're not going to think, oh, she's judging me, because they're not.
They're so worried about their own shit.
Yeah.
They're not judging you. They don't.
That's right. So be sure to do that. And yes, you will be uncomfortable. Expect to be uncomfortable. But boy, is that a great way to learn. And you're going to have some good hands, and you're going to have some awful hands. And the awful hands, you just have to throw them away, flush them, just get rid of them, and just only keep the happy hands here, and move on with the next one.
13 cards.
Yes.
Put them back, because you can't change that.
No, you can't.
Stressing, it's a Bob Hammond
the
thing. If you sit
That's
there,
right.
Yeah, if you sit there and stress out about the 13 cards that you just played, you're going to mess up the next two hands.
You are. That's exactly what. But when you play at a club or play in a tournament, you get something called a hand record. It's always emailed to you later, but great if you get the paper hand record. And then you look over all the ones, you get a summary of how you did on each hand. And so the ones that you did badly on, and just pick 3 or 4, because more than that at first is a bit too much. So just go over the ones you did poorly on, 3 or 4 hands, and say, why did I do badly? Because maybe you were in 4 spades making 4 and you were content with that. But if everybody else in the room was in 4 spades making 5, then you got what's called a bottom board. Or maybe you were in 3 spades and you thought that was great, you made 4, but everybody else in the room was in 4 spades making. So you have to consider, how should you bid this so that you get to game? And my suggestion would be that you didn't evaluate or revalue your hands properly. So these are all things to consider.
Very good advice. What other advice do you have to brand new bridge players? Because that's the thing, is the Bridge Unleashed channel, we have a lot of new people coming in. Like, I've been doing a lot of content of, if you're a cribbage player, if you're a hearts player. I came out of spades, personally, is what I played in college.
Well, that's a kissing cousin. People ask me, if I played 21 or I played poker, does that help me? No, it doesn't help one little bit. But if you've played whist or even euchre or hearts or spades, they're kissing cousins because they're trump games. And it's all about playing games with trumps, and also about having 13 cards in your hand and tricks and trumps and following suit. It's all the same sort of concept, so that would be useful. What would I suggest for practice? I would suggest going to Bridge Master, which I think is the best program ever created, and by Fred Gittleman, who is the founder of BBO and was Bill Gates' bridge teacher, and also a Canadian. This program, Bridge Master,
and it's located inside BBO.
It's free on bridgebase.com, www.bridgebase.com, and you'll find, without even logging in, you find Bridge Master. And then make sure that you start at the very beginning. You go back to level 1 beginners, and it does the bidding for you. The bidding's already done, and it gives you the opening lead. And now it's your problem to work out how you should play this hand. After you've played it, you look for the little tab that says Show Solution, and it walks you through counting your losers, or in no trumps, counting your winners, because we count losers in suit contracts, we count winners in no trumps, and then it walks you through what you should have done on the hand.
So you have 50 years of playing bridge. What are some of your favorite accomplishments along the way that you've really enjoyed? Like, what was the favorite tournaments? You've done a lot of traveling, a lot of cruises, right? How many cruises have you done now?
We've done probably, my husband and I have probably done about 125 cruises.
Oh my gosh.
We have, on occasion, we've probably done about 15 cruises working for the cruise line. That's not my favorite, because I like to have more control. And so I've taken groups around the world on many cruises as a licensed travel agent. My husband and I have traveled to 173 countries because of teaching on cruise ships.
So does he help you teach?
Oh, he does. He's a great teacher and a much better bridge player than I will ever be. His name is Alex Cornell, and we play bridge wherever we go. So when we're going to be in a country more than a day, or sometimes just for a day, we've always taken our groups to the local bridge club to play. So we've played in many countries in the world, and I've taught bridge in many countries.
Yeah, let's speak about that. You don't have to share the same language, but bidding is a language that we all share.
It is.
It's just so people that you don't have to be a brainiac. You don't have to be a math or science person to be good at bridge. If you're good at languages, people that are good at literature and languages can be very good bridge players.
Well, bridge is the bidding of bridge is a language of its own. But you don't have to speak the language to go and play in a strange country, because there are bidding boxes, and you pull out the card, and a picture of one heart is written on the card, and it's a universal language. So you place this on the table, so you don't have to be able to talk. But most bridge players in the world can manage a little bit of English at the bridge table.
We're lucky in that way, but also handicapped in some ways.
Yes.
I wish, the North American Bridge Championships, we are going to have, our friends are coming in from around the world.
Thousands of people from all over the world.
The best bridge players from all the other continents do come in to try to compete. It's one of the best bridge tournaments in the world.
It is.
Yeah, so just the World Championships, the European Championships, and the North American Bridge Championships.
But ACBL is the biggest. They're the largest organizing body of bridge in the world. I would highly recommend that anyone join them at www.acbl.org. And it's great. It's a reasonable price. You get a wonderful magazine, and you score master points, which is sort of a ranking system for players.
And that's the other thing, is everyone has their own bridge journey. And I really try to get everybody to celebrate that. It's not just the top players.
No, it's anything but the top players. It's really 75%, I'm picking that number loosely, but that was always my understanding, that about 75% of bridge players are 0 to 750 master points level. And one other thing I'd like to say is that people say, I can't play bridge, or they say, oh, my sister can't play bridge because she has no card sense. I will tell you that I believe that less than 1% of all bridge players on this earth have that wonderful magical component called card sense. Card sense is when you know how to play a hand without really thinking about it terribly much. You know how to defend, you have a feel. I will never have that feel.
It's a learned thing.
It's a learned thing. You can learn it by rote. You can learn, the bidding has to be learned by rote. Has to be studied. Yes, you can learn the whys and the hows, but you need to sit down, study, and memorize bidding. Card play, declarer play, and defense can also be learned by rote. You just go through a mental checklist. Will I trump in the dummy? Will I make a discard on a longer suit in the dummy? And things like that. So you do not have to have card sense. Anyone can learn this game.
There's like the social aspect of the game. You don't
important.
It's not just about being the top level of the game.
Good point,
it's
Tracy.
a lifelong So I played soccer for 25 years, so the whole
Wow.
World Cup thing is a big deal for me. But when I was coaching soccer, I would tell these girls, and I dealt with a lot of middle school girls, all I cared about was their love of the game, and I wanted to see them playing as adults and their local adult
wonderful.
league and the
Wonderful.
friendships and
this is the same in bridge.
exactly. Yeah, that's
Yes.
why so many of my stories I try to tell is, and people are like, why are you videoing that person? I am videoing everyone's bridge story because I'm interested in the human aspect of the game, the social aspect of the game, and trying to show it from top to bottom.
That's really good. When I sit down to play duplicate, even at high competitive levels, I am always talking to my opponents to find out where they're from, because I've probably been to their country. And my husband just wishes I would focus and not be so chatty, because
It's
true that it's hard to be very focused and concentrating when you're chatting. So it's hard, but you can chat in between hands.